Guys, I do not know what the freak happened to these Monster Mutt models, but I gotta tell you, the new models of Monster Mutt are complete and utter mid. Like, seriously, there's literally one of the old models while you're watching the video, and on the thumbnail of the video, there's literally a new model. I mean the old models look less tough and less aggressive, but the 1950 Mercury models, along with these Grave Digger chassis, were just way better. Like, tell me why. The other day I was watching the evolution of Monster Mutt by one of my favorite Monster Jam YouTubers, Monster Talk.
What?
And the guy recording his voice said whenever Monster Jam was getting a rebrand, they changed the models. Like, they changed the models of Rottweiler first, but and guess what? In the span of 2016, whenever almost every single model was changed, there was only one model left with the classic 1950 Mercury old 2000s look. Junkyard Dog. I'm surprised that Junkyard Dog was parked so early. Junkyard Dog was released a bit too early for Monster Jam.
Was he a real truck?
But I think that if they kept Junkyard Dog in the span of 2 years in 2018, they'd probably change him to these freaking new models that we have today. And while I don't like the new models, they're not entirely bad. Since the old models were less aggressive and Dalmatian wasn't joyful and smiling, I can agree. Monster Mutt Dalmatian, when it's smiling, is way better. But we're never going to forget the fact that the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, even when it's smiling, still has the sharp teeth. So, while yes, I do not like the old model of Rottweiler the most, he's still probably my favorite Monster Mutt out of all of them. So here's what I have to say next about these new models. The new models aren't entirely bad. I can agree that the plain Monster Mutt looks way more aggressive with the new model it was gifted. And yes, there's also been some really good die-cast toys with the new models. Remember that one time whenever Monster Mutt Dalmatian was gifted the golden look? That's probably my favorite Monster Mutt die-cast toy, along with Monster Mutt Poodle and Monster Mutt Husky. And it would have also been great to see Monster Mutt Poodle with an old design. Yeah, we already had Junkyard Dog whenever all of their designs changed. Did you forget Poodle is just a toy? It's not a real truck. And it's also only in the video games. I believe next season Monster Jam should bring the custom ideas to real life, like Queen Bee, Fire Rescue, and Monster Mutt Poodle. And while the new models aren't my personal favorite, I still like one thing. I still have a few pros about the new models. We can agree that the new models fit the generation of Monster Jam that we have now, like the generation without Max D. But that still doesn't delete the fact that the old models were better. And there's even this one Monster Jam toy that I'm getting with the BKT tires. It's the old model of Monster Mutt.
With BKT tires?
With BKT
Right.
tires, I said it. It's with BKT tires. And it's the old model too. I mean, take a look at this. It still wasn't in the BKT tire era. And it was also the first Monster Mutt. It was also the first alter ego of Monster Mutt to be changed and completely remodeled. But personally, I still like this. It looks a bit more aggressive, but arguably, we're still going to need a tongue on this one. And also, the tail looks a bit too short. Zoom in on the video and take a look at the tail. I'll give you a second to pause the video and look at his tail. You see how short his tail is? His tail is too short. Like I know the remodels of all the Monster Mutt alter egos and the original Monster Mutt were all updated to make them look more aggressive and make them look less like they were just happy dogs living the best life of all time. But guess what? We need the old models back. Whenever Monster Mutt has a 25th year, whenever Monster Mutt goes through a 25th anniversary, we should bring the old bodies back for the rest of the season. And we're also going to take a look at, and we're also going to see if we're also going to see if the entirety of the monster truck team can win the entirety of the season. And we're also going to see if they can win racing, two-wheel skills, and freestyle in the World Finals if they are invited. Well, guess what? The tail on the old Rottweiler is short too. Well, it wasn't as short, and the ears were more floppy on the diecast toys. So why would you change them? Why? Just why? Take a look at Monster Mutt Dalmatian for a minute. You guys might be like, well, guess what? Monster Mutt Dalmatian's ears aren't flopping in this photo. Why would you take this photo? The thing is, Monster Mutt Dalmatian stopped. It was in parked. And also, take a look at the tail. It's longer than the Rottweiler's tail. And also, look at the fact that it also has like a tiny tongue, but you can't really see it. You might be able to see the tongue better in the next picture, but right now, you just can't really see it well because this is a really blurry picture. So, check out how the windows look. The windows are thin. Now take a look at the new model. The new model provides simplicity. I mean, not too much simplicity. But the ears are still floppy. That's the good thing. It's finally smiling after years. But its tongue is a bit too short in this photo. And also look at these tires. I think Monster Jam should have kept like the plain tires and shouldn't have stuck in with the BKT tires. Because the BKT tires provide me nothing. I'm more a fan of the classics rather than the new age of Monster Jam. Cause in this age we don't have the best drivers in the game like Tom Mintz, Dennis Anderson, Candace Jolly. And we don't even have Charlie Parkin in this era. Not even Mark McDonald. So we've lost a lot of drivers over the years. But let's all take a look at this next model. Monster Mutt Galaxy is one of the retired Monster Mutt trucks. Along with Monster Mutt Junkyard, at least I hope he's not retired. I believe that Monster Mutt Junkyard is simply just on an indefinite hiatus. Along with this truck. But I took a look on the wiki of the Monster Jam, and yeah, this truck isn't coming back anytime soon. It's retired. So in this video, we're also saying goodbye to our beloved Monster Mutt Dalmatian Galaxy. Remember whenever Cynthia Gautier wasn't driving the Lucas Oil stabilizer and instead was on the Monster Mutt team? It seems that Cynthia Gautier just walked out on them. Well. Cynthia Gautier walked out on them. Shouldn't that be Cynthia's fault? No, Cynthia might have just wanted a new start. And that's not her fault that we all wanted a new start. Because guess what? Ryan Anderson eventually left another one of the teams that he participated on to debut one of my personal favorite trucks, Son of a Digger. Son of a Digger is basically like the son truck of Grave Digger, one of the sport's best and most iconic trucks of all time. Now you're looking at the old Monster Mutt Rottweiler again. You're like, quit showing us this photo. Well, take a look at the next photo. Don't get annoyed by this next photo, because arguably, you're going to be seeing this photo for the rest of the video. Look at Monster Mutt Dalmatian Ice. New body. Long tail. It looks short. It looks like the Rottweiler's tail in this picture. But look at the tongue. It rhymes with the body of the truck. And while I'm not here to rant about it, I'm here to give you my pros and cons about it. So, here are my pros for Monster Mutt Dalmatian Ice. Monster Mutt Dalmatian Ice has a tongue that blends in with the entire body of the truck. And let's also talk about how the ears are floppy. The classic floppy ears used on every Monster Mutt truck. Now here are my very few amount of cons on this truck. I like this truck, but it would have been better to see this as an old model Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Imagine, I'm literally developing mental pictures in my mind of what Monster Mutt Dalmatian Ice would look like if it was the old model that was the ice truck. And I'm also thinking of what Monster Mutt Rottweiler would look like with the old model as a fire truck. Along with Monster Mutt Ice being the old Monster Mutt and being the ice truck, I'm developing mental pictures inside of my mind of how much better this would look with the old model, along with the collar, the long tail, floppy ears, and the blue tongue. It would be really surprising, impressive, and it would be awesome to see Monster Mutt Dalmatian Ice as an old model.